This is the Wandering Mike.
Welcome everyone to the Wandering Mike. Today, because I had a lot of fan letters, we finally did it. We're back again with Kayli.
Woo! Hi guys, I'm really excited.
So, yeah, as we said, we were open to do part two. People seem to like the stories from last time, so we're back. And this time we thought about, or actually, you thought about something else.
I did.
You said, yeah, let's do it a little bit more philosophical because sometimes it goes down that lane, sometimes it doesn't.
Mm.
Last time we just spoke a little bit about cool stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one's gonna be a bit more philosophical, but obviously it'll tie into your life, my life anyway. So we're gonna see like where all this goes, and so yeah, I think for the philosophical episode, that's a handful.
Philosophical daily episode.
That's a mouthful. Um, so let's start with what would you say if I ask you what is your personal philosophy? Because it's a word that means a lot for different people as well. So if you're just confronted with, hey, what would you say is your personal philosophy in a couple of words? What would you say? How do you live?
How do I live?
Well, I mean, that's already how I
Yeah,
interpret the
yeah,
question.
yeah. Okay. Just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Oh, in a few words, that's tough.
Well, you could do as many as you want, actually.
I
It's
many
just
as
the
I want.
introduction.
Just 20 minutes. It's kind of hard to put into words, but I'd say it's one of two things. It would be always doing the right thing, and then it sounds so cheesy, but kind of just finding the positive in everything. Like just living every day like it's the best day ever, I guess.
Yeah, that doesn't sound cheesy.
Well,
It sounds like
people will always
good
say
things.
like, "Oh, live every day like it's your last." But I don't like that phrasing of it. I think
Right.
live every day like it's going to be the best day ever, not your last.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. Um. So with um that outlook on your life at the moment, was there a specific moment, or was there things that you think helps you shape that philosophy, or is that just something that was always were you always kind of drawn to that, or did you have to learn these kind of things as well to enjoy, to do the right thing?
Well, I think growing up, my dad really ingrained in me to just always do the right thing and the world will like reward you for that. Not that you need to be rewarded, but I don't like to owe people things. I don't like to feel indebted. I don't like I feel gross if I'm not doing the
Yes.
right thing, even if it's a hard thing to do. Like I just feel so much better about myself. So I give that one to my dad. Um and then living every day like it's your best. That's been a recent change in my life. I'd say in the last maybe 5 or 6 months. Um, One of my friends that I met traveling is, like, the happiest guy I've ever met in my life. Truly, like, I don't understand it.
Nice.
And I would just have a bad day, and I'd just be in a mood all day, and he's like, "Just be happy." Like,
Mm.
I don't understand, like, there's so much to be happy about, and I would get so annoyed. I'm like, "No, I wanna be pissed off, I wanna be sad." And then one day I just kind of started trying it, like,
Right.
to just like he would always say, like, being sad is boring, and it kind of is. Honestly, it's necessary at times, but, like, just let the little things go, and that's why when people ask me how I am, I go, "I'm amazing,"
Yeah.
even if I'm not, but then I feel better when I do say that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so happy that you said that actually, because it's kind of what I do as well. Like I go around the
Mhm.
same kind of thing. It's like it's an awesome day, it's like I'm wonderful. But I like that you also had that experience of, because it's so hard to really, 'cause when you describe that dialogue, I feel like I had that dialogue with a couple of people sometimes, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Well, I just wanna be pissed off, I just,
Yeah.
forbid, I just wanna be," and like you also said, sometimes we have to. It's
Yeah.
not about shutting it down, it's
Yeah.
just about really seeing what is really worth.
Being pissed off about. There's
Exactly.
usually more to be happy about than there is to be
Exactly.
feeling negatively towards.
And and yeah, like you said, and to my experience as well, it's just as long as you concentrate on the good things that definitely always are
Mhm.
there, then the bad things won't even bother you anymore. But obviously, if
Yeah.
then you concentrate on the bad things, you don't even see the good things anymore.
Yeah.
Because nothing is good or bad. Everything has its good and bad sides.
Well, even, like, I'll catch myself like, "Oh, I'm so tired," or "I'm so hungry."
Yeah.
And if you follow that up with, like, "I'm so tired," and then an action that will improve it, it's really great. So, like, "I'm so tired and I'm gonna go to bed early tonight,"
Right.
or, um, "I'm so pissed off at Mike and I'm gonna talk to him about it."
Sounds fair.
Instead of just being like, "I'm pissed." You know what I mean?
No, no, I get it though. Yes, it makes sense. Because you basically, what you're doing with that is you're already reacting to the feeling rather than
Yeah.
letting it
And
linger.
you're
Like,
providing yourself a solution.
exactly. Yeah, that's a I honestly
Are you
don't
gonna
think I've
steal it from me?
yeah, I don't think I've ever did that. That's
Yeah.
actually it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Is it did that come easy? You have to learn that, right? Because I'm just gonna go like, "Oh, I'm hungry."
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna realize,
Well,
"Oh,
you
wait."
don't have to say it out loud either. It's
Yeah.
just like, "I'm hungry. Okay, so what am I gonna do about it?"
Mm,
You know? It's practice. I think any small changes that you make in your life take some time and
yeah,
practice. Yeah.
definitely. Um,
What's your life philosophy?
huh, it's a good question.
Sorry, I forgot to ask you.
Of course. So for me, it's basically, I would say it's being present. I'm
Mhm.
really, really trying to be as present as possible to take everything in. It goes from if I'm going for a walk, I really sometimes I like having podcasts on, but these
Mhm.
days I actually sometimes don't even put headphones in and just really um like see my surroundings, hear my surroundings, and just enjoy like all the things that are just going on.
Mhm.
Um, but then also it goes to like conversations with people because if you're really present, I feel my experience has taught me I I can my conversations are different as well because you pick up on more of the subtle hints and you're capable of getting the conversation to the next level because if
Mhm.
you were like half there, maybe even glancing on your phone and then you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Kelly, what was that? Yeah, yeah, sure, Kelly.
You're not
It's
really there.
so no, in general, so being present both with like things that I can control, not having the phone, not having the earphones in, but also with the mind, obviously.
Mhm.
Not I'm sitting here right now. Why am I thinking of tomorrow? Why am I thinking of what I did yesterday? Every time I catch myself doing that, like daydreaming or thinking back on things I did a week ago or a day ago, I'm like, no, you're here.
Yeah.
And so that's something I really, really, for maybe 10 years now, trying to implement in my life. Just try and be as present as you can.
In the past, did you find yourself, because you're saying that your goal is to, stick to the present. Do you
Yes.
find yourself struggling more thinking about the future or more about the past?
Um, I would say more, I used to worry more about the past. I used to be a big
Mhm.
overthinker. I used to
Yeah.
come home and be like, "Oh, you said that thing. Maybe you should have said it a different way," and then thinking about it for 20 minutes and the other person doesn't even remember what you said. Stuff
Yeah.
like that. Um that was really a thing. With the future, I also had phases where I was just like, thinking a lot about things that I could do, and never acted on, which in hindsight, then I also saw as not really productive to a point. So now when I say, "Oh, I could do this," I'm like, "Okay, but could I try?" Kind of like you with your feelings, then immediately trying, "Okay, can I make it into a concrete plan?"
Yeah.
Kind of no, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm trying with the future. Um, but yeah, like to this day, right now, I have to say that the past part is um, completely dealt with. Like I haven't for I think 4 or 5 years now thought about, and now the hater's gonna say, "Is that a good thing?" I've never thought about things I did, you know? Like
Yeah.
I'm just being authentic now, and it doesn't even brush my mind anymore. Like maybe you took it the wrong way, like,
Yeah.
you know. So
Okay.
sometimes obviously some people do take it the wrong way, and then you just talk about it, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry you misunderstood, and that's how you deal with it in the moment,
Yeah.
rather than thinking about it. So
Yeah.
don't think about it. If other people are uh, like have a problem with it, they hopefully tell you and
Mhm.
communicate, and then it's always when you communicate, you can solve it. You can be
Yeah.
like, oh, it was a misunderstanding.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, being present, and also the second thing for me is also that everything happens for a reason. That's definitely something I believe in with all of my heart. Doesn't mean that I take anything away from free will. Basically, what I'm believing is that we are put in a situation where we do have all the opportunities that we get. So if I put everything in my power in to get where I'm going, that it will happen. So that's what I truly believe. Everything is out there to be gotten, to be
To, like,
achieved,
test you and
and obviously also being tested and gonna knock you down sometimes as well. But I do believe that whatever happens, it is there to provide you with the thing. Obviously, you have to go the path.
yeah.
If there is a challenge and then I decide to, okay, this challenge is too hard, I will now go into my cave for 8 years and not work on anything. Um, Obviously, you still need to put the work in yourself, but I do believe that the universe wants you uh, go towards what you want to go to and work towards it yourself with discipline and with consistency, that it will work out.
Do you think that the thought of everything happens for a reason is a frame of mind, like the choice of yours, or do you think it's an external like force, I guess?
That's a brilliant question, actually.
Thank you.
That's that's a brilliant question, Kayli. Um, because it's basically what it's doing is it's burning down the fourth wall. Like, that's how fate. That's a crazy question. Um, because honestly, it is a mindset. Because
Yeah.
I put it in my head. I said, okay, this is how I'm gonna see the world now. And I am aware that a lot of times it is just practical for me as well. Because whatever happens, my first instinct is not to find the excuse, but my first instinct is to, okay, what did I do wrong? So
Mhm.
let's say something goes wrong, something that doesn't even have anything to do with me. Let's say, I think I used that example once, and then I was made fun of. But let's say you come up to me and you punch me in the face, just
Oh,
like that. Then
I would never.
not you, maybe Kevin. Maybe Kevin comes up and punches me in the
Okay. Kevin?
French Kevin.
Oh, French Kevin.
French Kevin.
Right.
Um, So that happens. I would, honest I mean, obviously, probably not, but just explaining
Mm.
the theory is I would go, "Oh, why did he punch me in the face?" Even if he just ran around the corner and punched me in the face and I did nothing, I would go, "Why did
I'm
he
sure you
punch me in the
deserved it.
face?" And then I would arrive at a thing which is probably not the absolute truth. I would just think myself, I would be like, "Oh, maybe I just need to smile even brighter next time." This
Mhm.
100% isn't the reason why he punched me, but it's the reason that I find to make myself better.
Yeah.
So in that's how I am aware that it is very practical for me. So I'm using that mindset to just always try to better myself with whatever happens and just try. So yeah, like you were saying, it is a mindset because you are basically observing the things that are happening in your life and you're trying to get a meaning out of them. You're trying to learn from
Mhm.
them. Um, so it is something that I put in myself in my mind. And but also I do believe if I take it away from the logical part that I just did it so that I have a better life, a happier life, a more productive life. I
Mhm.
found this mindset and it works for me. If I take it away from the logical aspect, I feel like it is the way to live. And I do feel like I was led to that mindset. So I do believe that it is, if one can say that, the right way to live, to
Mhm.
believe this, to really put your faith in that the universe is good. And I do believe that it really is that way.
Yeah.
So on a logical scale, obviously I implemented it, but now um, that is what I believe.
If you can't find a reason why something happened, do you kinda just blame it on the universe? Not blame, maybe that's the wrong word, but it's just like, "Oh, it is what it is. That was meant to happen."
Uh, that's also actually like you were saying with the things that you are implementing in your life. It is practice
Mm.
because I don't think that. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things that we have already discussed. It's like a lot of things don't bother me anymore anyway, so they don't
Mhm.
need to be thought about.
Yeah.
And the things that do bother me, um, it actually is still happening, obviously, but it's a handful of times maybe in the last 2 months um, where I didn't have an answer. So it's like a training thing. You're always like you getting better at finding finding things. Like I said, you believe that it is the thing that you found is the truth. Logically, obviously, it's probably not exactly what the other person thought
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, you're just getting better at for yourself because you get to know yourself better as well. And you're getting to know what are the things that maybe are the things that I can work on. And then you're always trying to cater it towards those kind of things
Mhm.
anyway, because everyone's working on specific things maybe that they do want to work on. So I'm always trying to tie it back to a handful of things that I'm working on for myself. And yeah, you're getting better and better at doing that. So, but if I can't explain it, I guess I'll just ponder on it and actually, and I'm just thinking if it actually is the truth. But it is. In a couple of days, everything resolved itself then as well. So there's also this
Mhm.
thing of hindsight where then again, it's also a thing where it's just a mindset, but
Yeah.
then something happens in the week and you're like, "Oh, that's why my car broke down because if I wasn't in town, like I would have already been." And then so yeah, like I said, your brain just gets better and better in at connecting these things so that it doesn't happen that much that you just can't explain.
Yeah.
The Because you're obviously seem curious about the topic. Um, you, that is not what you believe, is it? Or are
Like,
you?
that everything needs a reason.
Yes.
See, I that's so hard because I think that, I do, but I think it's better for me to sometimes just, like, let things go. Because
Okay.
sometimes, like, a tiny little thing will happen, I'll be like, "Why?" My favorite question ever is, "Why?"
Right.
People will be like, "Oh, do you wanna go on a walk with me?" I go, "Why?" Like, does there have to be a reason? Like, let's just go on a
Yeah.
walk. Like,
Yeah.
I would go that far into it where it's, like, just ridiculous. It's like, "Okay, these are really minute things. Let's just
Mm.
let it go." So, I think, yes, asking the question why is fantastic, but once upon a time I took it too far, and it was the only response I had pretty much. Just be like, why?
Mm,
And that's not good. Because sometimes things just don't have to be that deep, I think.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's, something I would also agree with.
Mm,
It's I think it's finding the right scale
yeah.
maybe to question things. Don't question it in a, like, every minute, kinda every hour kind of thing, but just live your life, but then,
Mhm.
like, keep the heart and eye and whatever ears, like, open just for the overall picture of what is
Yeah.
happening, kinda.
Yeah. Not every little puzzle piece, you know?
Yeah, because like you said, once you do get too deep into that,
Then you
it's
just kinda spiral and you're just ruminating. You're like, "Oh my gosh."
because yeah, it's a weird thing with our consciousness, right? Because once you go like, yeah, but why, but why? And
Yeah.
it's like sometimes we also, and I guess that's where I come back to with basically that's my response to why is because the universe, So I'm
Yeah.
cutting myself off at the why, and I'm just saying
Yeah.
universe.
Justice.
And, that's how I basically deal with the dread of, "Oh, I need to, like, find a reason."
Yeah.
Um, so we just talked about things happening for a reason. Another relatively big thing, um, in life that people are sometimes, like, asking, "Does it exist? Do we need it? In what kind of aspect do we need it?" Is meaning. Do
Mhm.
do you think that life necessarily needs meaning? Do you think life has meaning? Do you think meaning should be sought? What is your how does meaning play into, like, your life?
Well, yeah, I think life has lots of meaning, and I think that, you should have some sort of thing that you're chasing, whether that's short or long term. Otherwise, that takes away why we're human, which is because of our really complex consciousness and everything like that. I mean, it could be really small of just like, I'm put on this earth to help people
Mm,
with their careers. I don't know, like, I'm put on this earth to, just see as much of the world as I can. Like,
yeah.
whatever you want it to be, that's up to you. I don't think that is planned out for you. I think that you have a choice what you wanna do with your life, and it can constantly change. But if you're just going through 9 to 5, doing the same thing every single day. Some people really enjoy that, and kudos to them because I don't think I could. But, I don't know, that just seems very, like, robotic to me. It's like, you just I don't know, that's not for me. And great if it is for you, but just not me. That's not my meaning.
No, no, I get that. And the thing with meaning is that it is different for everyone, which is the beautiful full thing
Mhm.
about meaning. But the sad thing also is that a lot of people, I think, um, also don't believe in meaning. Like I would say everyone that I had on the podcast, probably because we were all kind of similar mindsets.
Mhm.
I would never get that response probably on a podcast, but there's definitely people out there, 100% sure because of like catastrophic just conditions that they grew up with. Like there is
Mhm.
people around that just had it really, really hard and all of course they're probably going to tell me there's no meaning to life, and that's kind of the sad thing because when you close yourself off from it, that's when you don't really have a meaning. If you have a different meaning than I do, that's great because everyone should. But yeah, it's just sad to see when people don't really strive for meaning anymore and just make it seem like everything is random, which again, it might be, but that's just not
Yeah.
my philosophy.
But I really don't like the excuse of people like, "Oh, I grew up with a hard deck of cards, like, I can't do this, I can't do that." I'm like, "But why?" I mean, obviously, if you're some people just have it easier than others based on their environments, but, I mean, think of, like, Van Gogh. He had a horrible
Right.
life and then became one of the most famous artists in the world. There might be some doors that are closed for you, but to just sit and be like, this happened to me,
Mm,
I can't do anything about it, I'm gonna pretty much waste away." I think that's a load of shit, honestly. I think you have options. They might not be as great as other people's, but you can find some meaning with the cards that you were given. And when I was younger, I think I was so bad about that. I'd be like,
mm,
"This is happening in my life, and this is happening, and I'm miserable because of X, Y, and Z." And I look
mm,
back on it. It's honestly quite like, hmm, not embarrassing, but just I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I go to my friends all the time and just like bitch about my life? Like, that couldn't have been enjoyable for them. It didn't help me at all.
mm.
And it was like, "Oh, I can't do this because this is happening." It's like, "But why?" Like, I definitely could've. I was just sulking. That's I don't like that mindset. I'm glad that I got out of that.
Uh, a random question just popped into my mind. I'm still trying to figure out how to word it exactly, but that just that was just such an interesting remark that made me think. I forgot the question. Because the thing that you were saying about no matter what kind of cards you get dealt, like we all go through these things, looking back at what you were going through and how you were dealing with things back then. Do you think, and like I said, that just came to me. So, um, do you think that it might be that a reason for being here on this earth is for all of us to go through specific things and lessons and to um, basically develop? Because in where my head just went, and I don't know if that's a realistic thought or not, but where my head just went is like the humans existed for a very long time. And if every adult has these things, like you said, you look back on your life and you go, oh, how I did that was embarrassing or whatever. We don't need to call it embarrassing, but you look at it and you go, I can do better.
Yeah.
If and I have moments like this.
Mhm.
Everyone has. And if we all have that, why isn't it possible that we can all together immediately get our children to a place where we're like, okay, you're born now. Here's your handbook. I mean, making it a little bit more
Yeah.
simplistic, but um, basically, that's why I'm thinking maybe that wouldn't even be attainable to give you that handbook right
Oh,
away.
absolutely not. I mean, you think of how many choices you make every single day. Like, there's an infinite amount of possibilities on where your life could go or where anyone's lives can go. Like,
Yeah.
so cheesy, but, like, there truly is only one you, and I do believe there will only ever be one you to live I don't think anyone could live the exact life that I've lived.
Hmm.
That would be insane. Um,
Well, living your life would definitely insane,
that
Kayli.
would be insane. But I think, you know, different people are met with different choices and obstacles, and maybe that's needed for them, maybe it's choices that they made, but no, that would be impossible to give a handbook. And I also always say, like, just because, um your broken femur hurts doesn't mean that my stubbed toe doesn't hurt, because maybe
Yes.
stubbing my toe was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And so my tolerance for pain, like, that would be a 10 out of 10. That's the worst thing.
Yes.
And your femur, obviously, that is a very painful injury. But like, just because you're in significant pain for you doesn't mean that I'm not in pain either, or vice versa. So
Yes.
people's problems, like sometimes people vent to me about something that just seems really small. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, really? Like, this is ruining your week? But
Mm,
then I have to remember
it is.
it might be a really massive deal for them, even though I think I've gone through worse, or vice versa, you know? So I think just being kind to people and understanding that everyone's gone through different things is really important.
That that is definitely big thing that's also hard to keep in your head all the time because I 100% agree with you. I basically have the same saying you have, which goes, the worst thing that happened to you is the worst thing that happened to you.
Mhm.
So you never know
That's
what
good, I should steal that.
what that is for different people. So that's why I'm always trying to get into the other person's head, like you just said, but it's just such a also difficult thing because who are we kidding? We all just live life and we are gonna go like and base things on what we know. If we don't make the effort
Mhm.
to really look at the other person and look where are they coming from.
Yeah, put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, so that's something that we I feel should just like I said, with all the things that we've discussed, it's a thing that you can practice your brain to do just in certain situations to see, okay, is that something that maybe if I do it helps me with interacting with people? Or if it doesn't, maybe you stop again. But maybe it helps you, you know? And
Yeah,
just with
yeah.
all these things we discuss, it's like you can test them out. Do they enhance your life? I think they probably will.
Mhm.
But if they don't,
Then
good for you.
move along. Free
Exactly.
will.
Um, a question that actually fits into that as well a little bit is the question of right and wrong. Because, like you've said, everyone is their own person.
Mhm.
You can't possibly give out a handbook because everyone's different. And what might work for you might not work for me, blah, blah, blah. This sounds good for you, doesn't sound good for me. So, what do you currently believe? Do you believe that it is like, can we objectively say that a thing is right or wrong? I mean, or to what extent can we say that a thing is right or wrong?
Yeah, I think for bigger things, I think we can all agree what's right and wrong. I
Like
mean,
murder, definitely right.
obviously.
No, but yeah,
Um,
those kind of
yeah,
things,
those
like
kinds of things. It's like common sense, you know?
yeah,
But small things, I just kind of follow my own moral compass.
yeah,
It's just what I think is right. And that doesn't, I think of it in a way, not selfishly, like, is this gonna make the other person feel good? Is it
right.
gonna, you know, create the least amount of conflict or whatever it may be?
Mm,
So it's not a selfish compass, I guess.
yeah,
Like, I try to do the right thing for everyone involved in that situation, but
right,
sometimes I get it wrong
right.
according to that other person. Like, they just would have done it differently, or I didn't
Yeah,
think about how to do it a certain way that could have been better. And then I think there is just when you try to rectify the situation, like, you learn from it. You don't make the same mistake twice or 3 times.
yeah.
But yeah, you just learn from it. But I think just doing the right thing is following my own compass, and I think that I have a pretty good one for the most part.
I would say so.
Oh, thank you.
From from the time the long time I've got to spend with you.
I know you're leaving soon.
Do the people know that? Oh, they might know. Yeah, I'm leaving soon.
Oh, we're sad. I'm gonna cry.
Oh, but for the people listening to the podcast, since you brought it up, it'd probably be a while until they realize I moved because
Yeah.
we're going to be recording a couple of podcasts the next
Yeah.
couple of
You
days.
have a busy week.
So the Pirates Backpackers podcast will still be probably on for 1 or 2 months.
Really?
Well, I mean, one
Oh,
every
yeah.
week. If I do like five or
True.
six, it's six
True.
weeks, 7 weeks,
True, true.
depending on how many I still do while I'm here. Um, but Where was I going with that?
I don't know.
No, because yeah, you do have yeah, your moral compass.
Yeah.
That's where we were. Um, a question that not obviously not directed towards you personally, but some because it's something that I also always thought about and sometimes struggle. I basically came to the conclusion that for me it didn't really matter. But do you think that because you said it's not a selfish compass, do you think that something like a selfless act really does exist though? Because if I talk from my own point of view, even if those kind of things come up, I don't want to hurt the other person. I don't want to elicit conflict. I want to find a way where we're all happy. Um, and that's just how my brain works. And then sometimes I go like, yeah, but isn't that also selfish? Because it also benefits me if there's no conflict.
Yeah.
If
I don't think there's such thing as a selfless act.
right.
I really don't. And that's okay. That
Hmm,
that doesn't make you a selfish person. That you should do things for yourself and for other people. But if you're not taking care of yourself and if you're not doing things for yourself, then
right.
why? Like you are the only person that you truly have in this world, like yourself.
Exactly.
You need to take care of yourself first. I do believe that. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, how are you gonna take care of others? Can't do it.
You're exactly right.
You'll just run yourself dry and you'll be miserable. Although I'm trying to think if there is such a thing as a selfless act. I was gonna say, like, in the movies where like the guy jumps in front of the girl and gets shot with a bullet. It's like, oh no, and then he dies. Like,
Right.
but is that fully selfless?
But is it, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
That's the
not
only
like
thing
like
that
the
I can think of that might be
uh,
close.
the thing is, are we talking about a girl that he knows? Because, like, if my head went, it would only be selfless if it's a complete stranger.
A complete
Because
stranger, but then even though they're not alive to see it, I mean, complete stranger
and then there, yeah,
saves 8-year-old boy from blah blah blah.
true,
You know what I mean? Like,
true.
I mean, they wouldn't be aware of it, and
No, it would totally be
that would be
subconscious, but
yeah.
it could be.
But I don't think it's completely selfless.
In that case, it might also be no, but what? No, it's not. That was no, I was about to say it might be instinct, but human instinct would be to run away from the bullet, not to like catch it for someone else that we don't know. So
I mean, maybe it could be instinct.
maybe we are trying to save each other secretly.
Yeah. But I feel like if it was a child, like that might be instinct. Like I
Right,
think
right.
instinctually we care for those younger, like
For the
elderly and
future,
children.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also for the people that have built everything up
Yeah.
until so far, yeah. So,
Yeah. Hmm. I'll have to think on that one. If there's such a thing as a selfless act. I mean, like, we talked about this in the last one when I did my volunteer work in Cambodia.
yeah.
Obviously, I was volunteering and I was actually paying to volunteer.
Oh, you were paying to work.
Yeah, I paid like 15 Aussie a day.
Oh, wow.
But that's because obviously they were housing me, feeding me,
Right.
stuff like that. So that's what it was
So
covering.
that's what it was paying for,
Yeah.
basically. Right.
And as much of an impact that I made on those kids and the teacher and everything, obviously it made me feel great about myself and it was an
Yeah.
incredible experience and I learned so much and but was that selfless? No.
But another thing, well, I'm also not completely sure how I feel about it, but I also feel like sometimes it's also okay. That's the thing with don't care about what other people think.
Mhm.
Sometimes it is okay to feel great. Like
No, you
it
should.
it is like because you're doing it and you're feeling great about it, but you're feeling great about it because you did a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like there's
You should, and people are afraid to say that sometimes. Like
yeah,
I find it in volunteer work or just helping others, like they're afraid to be like, "Oh, that made me feel great." It's like, but why? It should. You help
it's a good
someone,
thing.
they feel great. Why can't you?
Exactly.
That's that's great. That's amazing. It should
And
be that way.
and that's how I honestly also get most of my enjoyment is helping other people.
Yeah.
If I can do something, I can see helps another person, especially if it's an easy thing, if it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm missing an egg, like grab my egg and or whatever it is, or I know a job that's looking for a person, like just go there,
Why wouldn't you help someone? And maybe it comes back around to you, maybe it doesn't, but
Exactly. So it's just, yeah, it's these things of just when you have something to offer up, like offer it up, and then
Mhm.
that'll make you feel good. And I feel that's okay that it makes you feel good because that's why you were in that situation to offer that thing up
Mm.
for the other person. So you did your purpose more or less. I know we already talked about that word today.
But I do think that acts of kindness towards people shouldn't like, you should never expect a return.
No, no,
Like,
of
if
course.
I, you know, gave you all my eggs and I was like, "Here you go, Mike. I know you really needed them." I would never expect you to be like, "Give me 2 dozen the next day," you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be the right thing to do. If I gave you a dozen of eggs, you should, pay it
Yeah.
back, but I would never expect it, and I would never if I offer you something, I'd never expect anything in return. Like, I don't like when people do that.
Yeah, because that's why would you offer something if it's conditioned, you know?
Yeah. I don't like conditions. Don't do it. If it's not something you're willing to give up and just have gratitude, then don't do it.
But it also, if you don't mind, I'll actually want to share a story that happened literally a day ago.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was yesterday.
Oh,
Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was
beach
yesterday.
day.
Yeah, but I did laundry before I think so. Must have been yesterday. Was it the day before?
I don't know. One of the
Uh,
2.
no, it was. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Um, because it ties in with everything we talked about, plus my belief slash mindset that everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
Because um, firstly, like never expect anything totally with you
Mhm.
100%, and obviously not every time something immediately happens from it either.
Mhm.
Um, but just to explain that kind of thing that I was trying to get at, that that I was kind of placed at the right time at the right place. So
Mhm.
I'm always that's also why I'm trying to help because I feel like maybe I am the only one right now that can help. And with the laundry, pretty much what was that situation. It was because I was doing my laundry and my laundry is done. I put it in the dryer, and a guy came in, a French guy that's been living here for a while, and he's like, "Sorry, bro, my phone broke, and I can't pay with it anymore. Can I just give you cash and you tap your phone?" It's like, "Of course." So I put on his washing machine. My dryer was done. I was folding up all my stuff. And when I was about to leave, he came back in and I saw he had like 10 minutes left on his washing machine.
Mhm.
So I just went like, "Hey bro, you probably need like the phone for the dryer as well, right? In 10 minutes." And he's like, "Yeah, kind of, but you don't need to wait." I was like, "It's 10 minutes. I'm gonna wait."
Yeah.
And the funny thing with that was, because then Kevin and I was discussing for a while, where are we gonna stay in Darwin? Like,
Mhm.
um, thinking about backpackers, to go to, and then, he was basically asking me, "Oh, so how long have you been here? Are you looking to get into the mines?" And I was like, "No, actually, I'm leaving in a week. I'm leaving to Darwin." He's, "Oh, it's the best place I've been in Australia, Darwin. If you go there, make sure you stay at the" and I'm not gonna say the name now because
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for it. And I was immediately like, that's why I needed to offer up the help,
Yeah.
and you have these moments in life sometimes, and you do realize that if I hadn't have done that, that wouldn't have come back. And it's not every time, but it's sometimes, and that's enough for me to make me feel
Yeah.
like it's worth
And it's such a small thing too,
it's
for
such a
both
small
of you.
it's such a small
Yeah. I love when things like that happen. Like, oh,
yeah,
yeah.
not only no, you're right from both of us as well, because for him it was just a conversation, but he
Yeah.
gave me that information. Like I also received a lot, and he
Yeah.
didn't. For
He
him,
didn't
it
even
was
know.
nothing. Doesn't know to this day probably that he helped me, like
If you're listening, thank you.
exactly. So yeah, that's just funny how that works out sometimes. Um, I have a bit of a different question that I was dragging along because we were talking about yourself a lot, and like everyone, all we have is us. And I kind of want to take it a little bit more spiritual, just because that's who I am.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just want to hear your opinion on it. So if you're saying yourself, or I would go further and I would call it the self. So what would you really say? What are you ultimately? So if you're getting at what I'm saying, like, are you the body, the hull that's sitting in
Mhm.
front of me? Are you the brain inside? Are you the heart? Are you the soul? Are you something completely different? What is the one tangible thing that is Kaylee? Or is it more than one?
I know what it is. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to explain this well, though. For
Right,
me, I
right.
would say energy.
I love that answer.
Yeah,
That's my
so, I mean, that obviously fuels the body, the physical. It fuels the mind, and also I just believe in just people carry energies with them.
yes.
I mean, you can feel it. I can feel it. Like, you either have a great energy or very loud energy or quiet energy. Like, you're always and it's not necessarily one thing, I guess. Oh, I wish have you ever heard of those people that can, like, see, like, auras or whatever around people? I
Yes.
find that so interesting. I don't know if I, like nah, I think I believe in that.
I totally believe. I had a
Yeah.
friend. She could see auras.
What's so interesting too is, like, I've met a few people that are like that, and they've all said the same aura for me.
Right.
And it's not even a color, like, it's orange. I always get orange, orangey yellow, or orangey red,
Right.
and they've all said the same thing, which I'm like, "That's very interesting because I never they describe it to me, I'm like, "I don't know, I would've picked something different for myself, I think."
Can I just I mean, if you don't want to get into it too much, that's fine too. But I'm just curious about, did they ever tell you what orange entails? So they say like what that kind of aura is like, or did they just say you're orange? Is that all they said about it?
I think they explained it to me once, but I really don't remember. Um, yeah, I don't
Because I
really
mean, to me,
remember.
it doesn't sound like a bad aura. I mean,
No, 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 it's not,
but it's
like
just because
I
it's
think it's more, like,
interesting.
joy, a little
Right.
bit of energy, maybe a bit, like I don't know.
Because then if it was like black, or like what would be like bad auras? Would it be like
I don't think there is one.
it's just, yeah, it's
I think
just
it's just, like,
different.
an energy sort of thing.
Right.
Um, I also had a friend in college. She was my pi chi actually,
Man.
but she had synesthesia.
Mm,
So she, like, saw everything in numbers, like people. And
right.
each number had, like, an assigned thing, and I was 18 when she told me mine. She said that she saw me as 29, which is really interesting, and to
Right.
her I mean, different people with synesthesia, like, they correlate different things, so, like, her
Mhm.
least favorite number was 4, like, the all, like, godly number would be 12, and then she said that how, like, what your favorite number is what you're aspiring to be,
Mhm.
and then she would just tell you what she thought you were off the bat. So 29, if I'm remembering correctly, she said that it was kind of correlated with age almost, like 20 anything in the 20s has, like, a youthfulness to it,
Right.
but because I was on the cusp of 30s, she saw, like, a lot of wisdom and maturity in me, but
Right.
there was also like, there was almost like a push and pull between my youth and
'Cause you're right there at 29.
yeah, exactly, but she saw me as the number 29,
Right.
and then she'd be like, "Oh, you're an 11," or whatever. Remember what she said for my favorite number. I don't remember. But yeah, it's so interesting. I should message her and ask her again because it's really, really interesting.
Sorry, I just really wanna make sure that I really understood it correctly, so
Yeah.
I take the right thing away from it. So you are at 29, but then at the moment you were at an 11? Is that how she saw it?
No, no, no. So she just based on my energy or meeting me,
Right.
she just correlated the number 29 with me.
Right.
And I was 18 years old at the time, I
Mm.
think. And then if I think my favorite number was 3 or 2 at the time, I'd be like, "That's my favorite number," and then
Mm.
she'd describe what that number meant to her, and she'd be like, "I just view it as, like, this is what you're aspiring to be like." Does that make
Because
sense?
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. Alright, yeah, no, that makes
and
sense.
some people do it with colors. Some people, I mean, assign different meanings to different numbers, but they just, like, see the
So
world in that way.
in her system though, because like I said, it's different for different people, but
Mhm.
she, like, most of the time correlated it to age than, like, the number that sh
No,
not
no, I
most of the
don't
time.
know her exact reasons behind it. I mean, it just kind of was for
Yeah,
her.
like, intuitive.
Like, she's just like, "You're 29." And then she'd kind of I don't even think she had I think 1 through, like, 15 maybe or 1 through 20, she had actual, like, set reasons, but she'd just
Right,
look at me and she'd
and it just came
see
up.
29, and I'd be like, "What does that mean?" And then she'd
Right.
kind of work it out with me.
Like, work
Yeah,
through
yeah,
the
yeah.
yeah, right, right.
Very interesting, though. Do you believe what do you think is the like, you? 'Cause my answer was energy. What's yours?
Yeah, it's gonna be boring because, I'm I'm probably also energy.
Yeah.
I'll explain it a bit differently though, because for a long time I was of the impression. Well, when I was younger, I was of the impression that I was my mind. I was a very logical person. So for me, for a long time, I was my brain. I was my mind. Um, then when I was becoming more spiritual, because when I was growing up, I was more religious. Like I
Mhm.
actually um had an interest in the religious teachings, and I found it quite interesting, just to, like, look into it and,
Mhm.
know about it, and, um, so I then did that move from religious to more spiritual, and then I was like, "What? I'm not my mind, I'm my soul, rather." So I was coming up with this abstract thing of a soul, that would live on when I die, all these kind of things. And then that eventually evolved into what I now view as energy, as I do believe in the universe as the creator. So universe is just the name I give to, because a lot of people um, believe in a creator, and the
Yeah.
name for the creator is universe. And what I also believe in, because I love sciences, I love maths, I love logical stuff still to this day. And when you get into the whole quantum mechanics kind of thing,
Mhm.
basically, and physics in general, like the first, or one of the first laws of physics is energy
Cannot be
cannot be
created or
created
destroyed.
or destroyed.
Yeah.
So everything already had to be here. So the universe, we're all the universe pretty much. So what I believe is that we are all, in a sense, the same energy. Like you said it differently, obviously, with
Mhm.
what you define as energy. But to me, what I put in the foreground is that we basically, and when I say we, I'm talking about humans, I'm talking about plants,
Everything.
I'm talking about lockers, I'm talking about every material that we can touch, that we can, everything is the energy, because
Yeah.
it's always the
It all
same,
works together
because
in
it can't be
some
created, it
yeah.
can't be destroyed, it's always the same.
What confuses me about that, though, is I'm super interested in the subject, but I have to give it a break after a while because it hurts my brain. And I go, "Why? Why? 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 Why?"
Yeah.
But the thought is that the universe is constantly expanding, right? Like,
And
it's
it,
expanding.
yeah, I mean, it's technically, yeah, it's expanding.
So, energy can't be created or destroyed, right?
Yes.
Does that mean we're just, is the energy just being stretched? Is there energy where it's expanding? What is it expanding to?
I mean, I think the scientifically correct answer is, and again, we're not fact checking any of this. Just
Yeah,
wanted to throw.
we're
Now that
just
it's about
pondering.
science, I feel like I need to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm thinking about it, and I feel like the universe is expanding. When you asked me that question intuitively, I wanted to answer, but it's also um,
Contracting.
contracting at the same time because that's the duality of the universe. And I feel like because we are very far in quantum mechanics, but I think one of the things where we don't understand the universe yet is black, well, black holes for one, but also dark energy. Because what humans are so good at doing is when we don't understand something, we label it.
Mhm.
Like we say, okay, so this. Like everything in the universe has a reason, and then there's dark energy, and it's just there and it doesn't do anything because we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So that's just to me not can't be the answer because just because we don't know what it does
Mhm.
doesn't mean that it doesn't do anything. So I feel like there is this negative dark energy, which again isn't a like the word negative isn't meant in a negative way, but just
Mhm.
as contrast to the positive, like the the duality. But I would also agree with you that thinking and talking too much about quantum mechanics can really fry someone's brain as well
Yeah.
if you go down those holes. But basically what that is, and no, we didn't talk about that, but I talked about that today already, is that basically the only difference between religion and math, for that matter, is that one thing might be a little bit more attainable. At the
Yeah.
end, we also came up with math. So in my opinion, quantum mechanics just is the closest to religion that we have in science. I feel like quantum mechanics really is the thing of we're trying to figure out why we're here.
Yeah. I sorry, I just had to look that up because
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called. It's called cosmic religion. It's kind of what
Right.
Einstein believed in,
Right.
and I can get with that. I mean, I think I have more of a maths and science brain, but if something can't be figured out, you can kind of just say that's just the spiritual side of things or the religious side of things. We
Right.
leave that there. It is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. And then that makes me feel happy. Like, not, I can just say that's spiritual, that's out of my control, can't explain it. And when I'm thinking about questions like this, like, where is everything, the dark matter? Like, it just says what it is. But that's kind of, I think that's a good viewpoint for scientists to try to work it out, but to also be accepting that some things you just can't work out, or at least not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's yeah, because I feel like that's one of the hardest things for us humans in general is to just accept like we can't figure it out.
Mhm.
We're just trying to like simplify. And that was kind of my point with maths as well, is because just because it works, it's still a theory. Just because we
Oh,
simplified it
everything's a theory.
just because we simplified it down to laws of physics and they make sense and they
Mhm.
work, how do we know that it's
Everything's still a theory.
exact?
We could be proved wrong in 50 years, 1,000 years, whatever it may be. And then they could even be wrong. We're just making it up,
Yeah,
honestly.
but
It's completely made up.
that's the beautiful part about it. Is we can just all do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Um, I, I don't. I feel like also asking a little bit of a tougher question, just because it kind of
Give it to me.
challenges everything we talked about a little bit as well, and it's part of life, obviously, as well. And I mean, we've been there a little bit, but so why do you, or yeah, how do you reconcile? Because you were just saying as well, with you're happy with, or you can explain something,
Mhm.
universe, part of a plan that makes you happy. And that's how I am as well. But obviously, there is like suffering and horrible, horrible things happening on this world as well. Um, so how do you personally like reconcile that? Because for me, I mean, I'll give, if you're interested, give my answer afterwards, but I 100% believe what I told you in this podcast. Everything happens for a reason. I do my best. Um, but yeah, why does there have to be these horrific things in the world? How did you reconcile it for yourself?
I mean, it's kinda just yin and yang. Like, there can't be good without bad. What's I think we need comparisons to figure out a scale of things. Like, if everything's great, then that would just be the middle of the scale. That's just normal,
Right,
right?
right,
And like I said with the broken femur, stub toe thing,
right.
that's also a scale. Like, you could have a scale of really great, amazing things, and then there's still gonna be the bottom of that scale, what we know now as being great and amazing, but if that were our life, we'd be like, "Oh, that's horrible." Do
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So
Yes, I
there
know what you
there is a scale of things. I mean, do I believe that some of these horrific things that are happening all over the world should are necessary? No, but that's just kinda how it works. There's good and there's bad and there's evil and there's good again. But yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I totally understand what you mean as well, because obviously they're not necessary, and it's obviously very wrong to say that they're necessary.
Mhm. But if those
But
weren't happening, then we would be like, "Okay, the
mm,
next, um" trying to think, like, mass murder, bottom of the scale, right? And then someone murdering one person is better, I guess. But if mass murder didn't exist, that one murder would be like, "Oh my god, this is horrendous. Like, how is this happening?" Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
I
just
mean, that's why
perspective.
Cain and Abel was such a big deal back then,
Yeah, yeah.
because it was the first. Um, but yeah, what I also find with the yin yang that you were saying, it's also something that I definitely believe in life as well, is the duality.
Mhm,
And what I just try to spin up in my head, again, not saying it's necessary, but if we do look at that duality, what that means as well with that balance that we have, there's a lot of evil happening. It must mean, and that's where I get the hope, that there's also a lot of good
mhm,
happening. And I do feel like you can feel it in the society, especially younger societies, that there is more of a positive outlook again, that there is more of a, maybe it is also more spiritual, more nature kind of connectedness, that is now more awareness kind of coming
mhm,
back to people as well. So that's kind of where I kind of, not rectified, but reconcile it rather, is that's how I look at it, as a scale. So if I'm seeing a lot of evil, then there must be a lot of
mhm.
good coming around as well.
Wish the world and media would touch on the good more often, though.
Yeah.
The world obviously can be a very scary place, but all media is this is happening, this is bad, and look at this, and it's like it's just so depressing. We just see the good things that are happening. That's not interesting to people. Like,
Yeah, that's why I haven't watched news
I
media
barely watch the news.
by myself for a long time. I sometimes catch it when I'm back at my parents, and it's just there. But yeah, usually I don't follow the news for exactly that reason. You could also fill an hour program with, oh, neighbor gifted a horse to his other neighbor, or oh, starving homeless person got treated to a 5-star meal. Like, these things are happening as well
Yeah.
in the world all the time. But We're
Also, it keeps you from being present as well. I don't really like the news personally. I mean, call me uneducated or whatever, but I feel like I have a grasp on what's going on. But since I've started traveling, I'm like, there's so many better things I could do with my time. I can just be present during the day, do good things for other people, see what's going on in my bubble, and that's that.
yeah. Sometimes, and that's the thing with sometimes people look at me like if I when I don't know things, they look at me and I'm like, yeah, well, but it didn't impact me that I didn't know, like
Yeah.
it didn't
And let's
change anything.
tell me about it. Like, let's talk about it.
Exactly.
You'll be my news
Exactly.
for the day. I'm like, oh, really? And then if I'm curious, I'll look into it a bit more and figure out what's going on. I like to know what's going on, but
Yeah.
I usually hear about it from other people. And then I'll be like, okay, let's look into this. But I'm not just going to be sat by the TV like, oh my God, the world's a horrible place.
I think that's the main point as well, like
Yeah.
you said, is that if we hear about something and we want to inquire,
Mhm.
we will and should. But
Yeah.
that's not what media is. Media is force feeding it to you,
Yeah.
is what that is. And you can't choose what you want to interact with. It's just being like thrown at you.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan either. It obviously has a function in society, but I'm not a fan.
Does. It does. Yeah, it does.
Um, as you're probably maybe aware, because you can see the laptop behind me, but we're already over an hour again, and again it went so quick. And
2 hours more.
uh, I know I said it as a joke, but I can't I can't do a 3 hour one just because we also want to respect my roommates. No, I spoiled that we're recording in this beautiful studio where I also sleep.
It is a luscious studio. We've got blue and yellow, some lockers, very spacious, green chairs. It's
Oh,
gorgeous.
you actually described it quite well.
I know.
But yeah, with that being said, I'm not gonna let you go just now. I will just ask one last question that might also be a bit of a discussion, but it is gonna be like
Okay.
the last
I'm
topic.
sad. I miss you guys already.
Ah,
Aw.
oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So the last thing I think I would love to ask you is um the thing of leaving something behind. Some people call it legacy. Is that something that has a presence in your life? Is that something that um like not dictates, but shapes how you go things? And then I mean, if it doesn't, that's totally fine as well, and it's a quick question. But yeah, but if like because it also has different meanings for different people. Like leaving something behind could be so many things. Like there could be so many or having an impact. Like it's just a lot of things where that could go. So what do you think for you? Is that something important? Is there parts of that that are important to you?
I've never really thought about it, but I think my answer would be yes. I And I think that kind of just ties into, every person that I touch in my life. I want to leave a good impression on them. That's
Yes.
really important to me. Um, yeah, and just doing the right thing. Like I just want my legacy to just be like, she was a good one.
Nice.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't that I just left a positive impact on other people's lives or that my company was enjoyed or whatever it may
Yes.
be. It was whatever they want it to be, but just positive. I think that is important and that attests to living a full and happy life if people think of you that way, right?
100%.
Yeah.
That's definitely again very close to how I go at that question nowadays as well.
Mhm.
Um, for me, actually, that was a bigger question in my life. That's why, because I like to ask that question
Mhm.
sometimes on podcasts as well, and then people always look at me and like, "Oh, I've never thought about that," and I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm the weird one." But for me, when I was younger, especially, like I always had this kind of um attention seeking kind of thing, and like um confirmation kind of thing that I needed to be um yeah, shown that I'm good enough or whatever that means. And for
Mhm.
me as a child, that just came out in the way of always dreaming of, like these jobs are like, oh, I want to be an actor, I want to be a superstar, I want to
Yeah.
be um all these kind of things. And with that, I always thought about, oh, so what am I gonna leave behind? Oh, I wanna build up this, build up that. Um
That would be really cool though to be an actor or something and leave a legacy of like films that just kind of is timeless, you know? That would be really cool, but I don't have the skill or the talent for that.
Yeah, so that's basically exactly where my thinking was at. It was like,
Yeah, yeah.
and when I was rapping, like, okay, I'm gonna produce like a couple of albums, they're gonna be here forever, and all these things. And I then also, obviously, these things never happened. So,
Mhm.
I don't know if I had them, if they would feel good at all. They probably will.
Mhm.
But since I never had that, then I also just naturally found, especially then with my job when I was like educating people, training, and more see that you can really like have a positive influence on people.
Yeah.
That's when my mind also it just turned and it was like, that's enough legacy. Like I
Yeah.
don't need to put up materialistic
No.
shit, and it just yeah, it needs that. That's more than enough.
I think the only physical thing I would love to leave would be just kind of like, heirloom sorta stuff for my family. Like, whether
Right.
that's just my journals, like, writing or just photos, like a little scrapbook or, maybe a piece of jewelry, like, I think that's really cool to be able to pass down through generations. I think that kinda stuff is becoming more and more appreciated. Like, I wish I had more of that from my grandmothers and great-grandmother, you know?
Yeah, it's yeah, that
It's cool to kinda get, like, a flashback or a glimpse into their life when they were really young. My grandmother did that for me. Um, gosh, was it the last maybe, like, 3rd to last time I saw her? She
mm,
brought out this giant box and, like, was reading me letters from university and showing me her scrapbooks and
oh yeah.
had her wedding dress and everything, and it was so like, it made me feel like I knew her more, I
Mm.
guess. It was really cool to see. I really liked that was a good moment. I'd love to be able to do that for my family one day.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good place for leaving stuff behind is inside of the family. I think that's
Yeah.
a great place
Yeah.
where you can just like generations and generations
Yeah.
pass things down, and because then you know for a fact that they will be appreciated as well,
Mhm.
rather than just putting them out into people you don't know as well.
Yeah. I mean, point is, I don't need it to be for the whole world, just the people that are close to me and love me. And then for the rest of the world, just whoever has been a part of my life, I just hope that they have had good memories with me and good times. And I'll be haunting you if you say bad things about me. Jokes, but
I could not have come up with a better ending for this podcast.
me neither.
Well, Kaylee, we've done it again.
We have bloopers.
I probably will do bloopers as well again.
They're my favorite.
Yeah, we probably got a couple. It's not gonna be as long as last time, but I think we got a couple.
I can make you some if you'd like.
Sounds right. That's all good.
I think my favorite one was 5. But it's just stop. Stop it right there.
Uh,
Well, Mike, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me again.
of course.
I had so much fun. You're the best.
It was a great one again, as expected. Thank you for doing it again as well.
Of course. Part 3 coming soon.
Well, you have to go to Darwin.
I'll follow you.
All right. Thank you for listening to us again, and goodbye, everyone.
Cheers. Bye. Coming up the walls looking like a rabbit hanging. I like to get up off the ground. Tell you to the cherry if you don't simmer down. You're the world's worst patron state of a sound. Cliff in your mouth. All right, then never mind what it'll be, lads. Another round, 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 another. ChatGPT, help us.
No, that wasn't a ChatGPT question.
I know, but maybe it can figure it out.
It can't be because it was a.
Yes, bloopers.
Okay, I'll just be quiet for 20 seconds. I couldn't get it.
Okay, do you want me to be quiet?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're ready.
And like 5 more minutes. That's what I want. Problem.
Stop. No.
It looked like stop 1 second. That's why I
I
spread
was
the
like,
fingers.
Mike, rude.
I love that we actually naturally get bloopers.